bring it live. Bring it live, bring it live. Hope everyone is doing okay. Make sure everything is going smooth here. Give it a couple minutes, see if anyone sneaks their way in here. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Alright, I think we're going. I think we're looking good. I think everything looks like it's set up how I need it. And that's the important part. I gotta do something about my background. My background, I don't know. Just like everything that's going on behind me just kind of looks, I don't know. Like it's just, the way it's set up and just the camera angle makes it look like I'm living in a room that's like perpetually packed. Cause like you just kind of see random. I think one thing that would help, I've got that painting back there that like the hook fell. The hook gave way and I haven't hung it back up yet. And if I hang that back up, it'll look a little less hodgepodge. But I don't know, just something about it right now just looks like someone mid-move, right? The furniture's just kind of all stacked up. I don't know. I'm probably the only one who cares, but it matters to me, dang it. That's barely true. That's barely true. If it actually mattered to me, I would have done something about it by now, so maybe I should just stop complaining. Cool boy. Looks like we got a little bit of sun trying to peek out around here. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Wouldn't be opposed. We don't get much of it this time of year around here. Much gloomier time of year. All things said, but it's okay. It all comes with the seasons, you know, and like that's that's something that particularly my ma has always said. She would never want to live anywhere else. No, I don't live in the same city as them, but still the same state, right? And she always says, I wouldn't want to live anywhere else because I would miss the seasons too much. And I agree, except that I could use less winter. Just a little bit less. Winter tends to drag on. It's the type of season that, like, it's good for, you know, those winter holidays, but after that, it's kind of like, you know, I don't know that I need the inconvenience of being cold all the time and, you know, not being able to drive to the store when I need to. Just, yeah, I think I'd be perfectly happy if, that weren't an issue for me for a good, you know, 1/3 of my life. Feels like 1/3. I know it's really only probably 1/4, maybe not even that. It always feels like 1/3 of my life. It always feels like it just goes on and on and on. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It's just how it is. What do we do? What time is it? Okay, I'm gonna give it like another minute. Give it another minute of me just sitting here rambling until we get working on things. I'm excited. I'm excited to be working on stuff today. I've been feeling very, very motivated about all my writing projects. Really, just all my projects in life in general. Honestly, I have managed to turn 2021 into a good year for myself, with the help of some friends and family. You know, credit where it's due. But in general, I've worked very hard to try and make sure this was a good year for me, and I would say I've really succeeded. Made a lot of progress on a lot of goals of my own. And like the really cool thing about success in projects is like it's that success that kind of leads to further motivation, right? So I'm like, not only has my motivation so far carried me towards this success in a lot of the projects that I'm working on, but it makes me want to continue said progress and keep going. Right, and I really feel that with all these writing projects that I'm doing, including this one here on stream. Like, I feel like I'm very pleased with the progress we've made so far with it, and I just am always feeling more and more motivated to keep working on it, keep making more progress, right? Keep riding that momentum as long as we can. So, yeah, I think it's been about 5 minutes, so I guess, you know, with that thought in mind, I am EnviroBoy. This is my channel, and we're gonna do some writing. So let's get into it. There, I still love that transition. It makes me so happy. It's like it's such a simple, basic beginner thing, but it just, I don't know, it makes me so happy. It's like that one thing. This one trick. It's like this one thing has just brought up the sense of professionalism of my stream, and it looks really good, and I like it. Anyway, last time we finished the dungeon we were working on. We finished the level 3 dungeon, which is awesome. It's really, really awesome. I'm really pleased with that. I'm really pleased to have made it through that little benchmark. I felt like we were working on that one for a long time, which is fine. I'd rather go slow and do it right than go fast and rush job this, since this is just a passion project, right? There's no deadlines, there's no income writing on this, nothing like that. This is just a passion project, something that I love doing, something that I want to create. So when it's that type of situation, I'm really happy to just go slow and take the time that it takes, you know, because that just really does always, I find, for me when I'm writing, when I take my time like that, it really just produces the best project, or the best product. I mean, the best project to the project. Project. Anyway, but yeah, no, I'm content with the progress we made. I'm glad to have finished that step. And we also took the time, so we finished that dungeon up, and we took some time to sort of, I wanted to have, like over here, we've got our campaign template, right? I wanted to have this set up. I wanted to make this little thing and have just sort of like a step-by-step, like, hey, they're trying to accomplish this right now. Once they've done that, what's the next one? You know, like almost like journal entries in you know, a mission log in a video game, right? Just like little checkpoints where it's like we can put portions of the campaign into packets that we can put all the notes in, make, you know, note of what are the important things they're trying to achieve here. Like, we're not really putting in any sort of mechanics or anything like that. We're maybe doing some like role-playing notes and stuff for important characters that don't show up in a dungeon per se, right? We're taking the time to just kind of throw all that stuff together, so that way it's in just one compartment, right? One packet that you can just kind of go and look in and be like, oh, okay, right, this is what we're working on right now. It's a really good, like, refresher tool for the DM to have. So I wanted to kind of get that rolling. Oh, excuse me. Oh, man, it's going to be one of them afternoons, isn't it? I'm already starting the yawning. I apologize. It's not because I'm bored. It's because I keep a busy life, and my body occasionally just likes to make a kind request for a siesta. But today I'm lucky, actually. Later on, once we're done streaming, I'll actually have a little bit of time if I wanted to. I could get that done. But not right now, dang it. We are in the middle of a project. We are feeling motivated, and we're going to work on it. Anyway. Getting myself off that tangent. So yes, so we've got our kind of stepwise functions here, right? And so we have like the primary steps, where it's like step 1, step 2. Those are basically the dungeons, right? Because that's where like the big stuff is happening. And then where we have here like our 1.5, 2.5, that's all of the stuff that happens in between dungeons, right? And so there's kind of broader steps thrown together in those 0.5, but they're steps that are much more relaxed. They're not as tight. There's not as much going on in any of these given steps. So we can kind of cram more into it rather than having like 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, so on and so forth, and subdividing it too much. So let's go ahead and talk about what happens in between, because we just finished writing the dungeon for step 3, which is where they find the first key. And so we've got that. Now that that's taken care of, we have to talk about what happens next. So for our hooks, this is real simple. There's not a whole lot to worry about here. We're not trying to, we don't need hooks, because hooks are meant to be like what drives them towards this. And in this situation, because they're at the end of a primary step, they're at the end of finding that key, they kind of had their next step, which is to get back to the city after doing that. So we can just go ahead and say, once players have found the first key, they will have finished all that there is for them at the shrine and among the giants. So it, actually we can just make that a separate sentence here. So it will be time for them to return to Novo Troy Kladny to see what their scholar has found about any other keys. Boom. Okay, so that's all their hook is. Not much not much to worry about there. Hold on, what is this? What is this? Oh, that's not important. I'm quiet. Okay. Let's see here. I have my mic volume maxed out. So maybe I'll just keep the mic a bit closer. I don't know. Would it help if I turned down the music so that you could just turn up the volume in general? Would that help? Let me try doing that. We'll like lower the music volume. Does that do anything? I don't know. I'll let you tell me if that's better or worse. Also, hello, welcome, Gabby. Thank you for being here. Let's see here. Okay, so we've got that. So now the details about this. Let's see. We don't need a whole lot. Did that help? Okay, cool. I will keep the music volume at that level, and we will work with that and see if that keeps things going. Oh, being sick does suck. I am sorry to hear that. I feel for you. I feel for you. Being sick is unfun. Alright, so let's see here. So details, what are they going to do here? So first, they will need to return through the... actually, wait, hold on. I want to make this a separate bullet point. So we're going to do details here. First, players will... Oh, no, I don't want that underlined. We'll get there. We'll get there. There it is. First, players will need to travel back through the mountains past the two... Oops. Past the two... Players will need to travel back through the mountains past the two giant tribes. And then I'm going to cut and paste this bit here. Or copy and paste that. Because it's all the same information. So we can do that there. There we go, perfect. Just want to do D&D prep or world building. You know what? I feel you there. I'm kind of in the same boat, which is why I'm sitting here doing that exactly that. Doing exactly that. I definitely understand the itch to do that. I feel you. I feel you on a regular basis. Alright, let's see here. So, and okay, so then once players are back in the city, they will want to discuss with the scholar. Let's see here. Alright, that's not a big deal. Okay. Let's see here. Scholar will have found out about the next key, and this is where we need to come back up here and consult what we already kind of planned out. So we got the first key. Somewhere buried in the mountains that had once been the home of the dwarves. Okay. Yeah, so the next thing that they need to do is they're going into the Duragar. Ooh, that's going to be a fun one. That's going to be a fun one. So they're going back to the mountains, but they're going to a different place. A legend... legend of old speaks of a key that was guarded by the dwarven king in the it's the High Doom Mountains, right? That's the one. I get my mountain ranges mixed up sometimes. Let's see here. I don't. Hold on. Do I have it in here? I don't know. Whatever. Cogderal. That's the name of the city anyway. We'll just use that. We'll just use that because I'm lazy and I don't want to pull out the whole big map right now. King. The Dwarven King in how was it spelled? Kha Cagderal. Oh, did I get it right? I think I got it right. There we go. Yeah. By the Dwarven King in Cogderal. Scholar will discuss where in the mountains the city is and explain that it was once heavily fortified and is located deep in the mountains with no quick and easy access. Players will have to travel through the ancient and abandoned dwarven tunnels to reach it. And I'm going to put just in red here just to make sure we call attention and just make sure that we recognize this is a DM only bullet point here. We're going to say the people of, we'll say the scholar and all others in Novo Troy Cladni are unaware that Duragar are currently occupying the mountains. So that's going to be a surprise. That's going to be a surprise to the players. I don't want them to know right off the bat that there are Duragar in the mountains. I think it'll be more interesting if that's something they discover as they go deeper and deeper. So that'll be a fun little surprise to throw at them. And I'm definitely a big fan of that kind of stuff. So we'll set it up that way, and we got a little note there. Is there anything else here? That's here. Make sure players. Whoops, hold on. We can unread text that bit there. Back to our automatic. We're gonna just add a note here. Make sure players understand they will want to do prep, as the next leg is another long journey away from the city. Boom. So just like, it's always good to just make sure that your players are aware when there's going to be long stints away from the city. Like, it's like if it's going to be a long stint because they choose it, that's one thing. But considering that we are going to basically be requiring that they as the DM, I'm saying, like, yeah, you need to go to this place. Like, I'm railroading you towards this next thing, in essence. Like, you can choose how you get there, but since you have to go here, it will be a while before you come back. So stock up on whatever you want or need for a decently long journey. So that will be that there. Make sure players understand this mid-section of the game will conclude with them traveling south through the plains and reaching a mountain pass of old that will lead them into the underground dwarven tunnels. Boom. So like the last part of it is going to be them journeying. So now we need to add that leg of our journey into this area here. So what I'm going to do with that, so they'll have a couple options. They can do travel through the forward base and then make their way over. But basically what I want to do is I want to have them be able to enter in through here, and there's a short path that will then take them into the mountains, and then they will travel the rest of this way through the mountains. Because then what I want to do, so our section 4 here, if we go back up, section 4, return over to Tricladny, where the scholar will have deciphered enough of the next key location. Next key is somewhere buried in the mountains that it was once been home of the dwarves. No one is aware that the Durgar now are in possession of the tunnel. The scouts suggest making it to Kagdural to look for more clues. Dungeon will be navigating the tunnels to get to the city. Will end with them being captured by Durgar. So I want to put that. Or rather, I want to have the dungeon be traveling through these mountains, and then they'll get captured. And the next dungeon will be what they do after they're captured. So that's kind of what the rough plan is here. And so I kind of want to map out 2 possible routes they could take to get there, because they could choose to take the forward base. And the concept is we'll tell them that because that is a planned out safe route, they can go through there without any issue, even if it takes a little bit longer to travel there. But it's safer, and then they'll still have to go through there. Or they could just go directly and travel along the plains to get there. Is sort of the idea that I have in mind here. Let's see here. Want to see your new creation myth? You should put it in. You should put it in the Discord, Gabby. If you put it up in the Discord, I'll take a look at it when I got time. Because I would like to see that. I think it would be really cool. Okay, so let's see here. So, we want to do pathways. And I want to do, we're going to do this one, because so this is what I'm using for basically their potential pathways that they follow, using all of just to differentiate it from our more established pathways. But basically, they could. Oops, no, that's not what I wanted. Here we go. Boom. And then I could go up through here, and then what I want to do, oops, wait, hold on. Space that, and we'll do a stopper right there, because then I want to go to our symbols here. Bring that symbol tool up. And if we go down, we can find what I'm looking for eventually. Where are you? There we are. Shrink that down to a more appropriate size. And we can put that right there. And that's their entrance into the mountain passages that they can then take through Kagdural. Or take to Kagdural, I should say. That's perfect. That's like so nondescript. I like it. Posted. Awesome. Next chance I get, I'll take a look at it. I should have some time. If I don't get to it beforehand, I should have some time this weekend to try and catch up and see what's going on in the Discord, if there's much of anything. Because this weekend I will be house sitting for some family, and so I will have a bit more free time as I'm just kind of lounging around away from all of my usual projects and stuff. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. Yeah, and I will take a look as soon as I can. All right, now there's something. I have an idea about a side quest that I can tuck over here. I'm not going to put it in there. Eventually, once we're done writing up our main campaign, I do intend to design a whole lot of side quests and everything. But that will be that will be sort of a once as we're done, you know, once we're done with all of our main stuff, is when we'll kind of get to that, because I don't want to. I'm just trying to match the size up here. Oh, well, I guess we're either going to be smaller or larger than that one. All right, well, we'll just make it smaller. Why not? Yeah, because I want to make sure we have side quests and stuff. I don't want everything to just be the main quest. I want this to feel a bit more sandboxy. And the other thing too is when you put in like side quest dungeons, you can have them be a bit more generic. And if they're a bit more generic, then it's a bit easier to. If they're more generic, it'll be easier to sort of slap in character-driven stuff, right? Because the one thing that's impossible to do when we're designing a campaign or writing a campaign before we even have a group or anything like that is we don't know what types of characters we'll be playing in there. So if you're like me and you like to have a lot of side missions and character history driven stuff, then you don't necessarily have a good way of putting all that stuff in there up front, when we're working like we are right now. But if you put in just some sort of generic places that aren't tied to the primary campaign, those can substitute and serve really well as key locations for those character-driven things. You can also throw in lots of character-driven stuff, scattered here and there in the main campaign stuff by just like substituting an enemy or dropping in an extra NPC, things like that. You can still do that in the main campaign stuff, so you can kind of two birds one stone it with that kind of stuff. But adding the side mission or adding in locations that can be good for that are just generic, intended to be for side missions, those ones you can get really creative. You can really change stuff up without it impacting the overall story. And it just works really, really well. The other thing that's really handy about doing that too is that way, because the way I'm designing it right now, because I like to run my games using experience points rather than checkpoint or landmark based leveling, because I like to use that experience points system. By throwing in all those side quests that they can choose to go on, that offers up a lot of opportunities for them to get extra in case they are taking an approach of not like trying to clear out every dungeon, but instead are trying to stay focused on their mission as they go through dungeons. If you add in those side quests and stuff like that, that gives them more opportunities to get that experience points that they might be missing. The other way to do that, and I haven't been stating it, but another way to do that is a lot of times when they do really important roleplay based checkpoints, like when they have really good success for that, I'll sprinkle in extra experience points that way. So that way they can sort of just like for doing very creative things, finding role-playing ways to, methods to get themselves through different challenging situations and stuff like that. Especially, and like this is a really important one, if they explicitly use like skill checks and role-playing to get out of a combat or to avoid a combat, I will still give them the experience points equal to that combat. So those are just ways to do that. But to kind of bring this tangent back in, it's one of the values of doing side quests, and so I will be doing that. But that's something that I do at the very end when the campaign is done, because the other thing about that too is, as I'm talking about, because you can add them in, like you use them to do very character-driven things. Honestly, you can almost leave those blank, and then just as you come up with ideas, just slap together a really quick dungeon and plop it somewhere in the map, and just do that as part of your standard prep that you're doing. As long as you plan ahead enough that you can have maybe a week or two to prep that in there, so it's not too stressful, you can really have that be part of your just standard prep stuff and throw in those extra tidbits as you need them. So all of that to say, I kind of want to put a little wizard or something that just lives in isolation down over here by the mountains, but we'll do that later. Because right now I do need to do one more pathway. Like I say, we're going to give them a couple options for their pathway. They can just take a more direct route, and just kind of meet up with the path over here. Hold on. I want to undo. I want to change this point a little bit, just to make it look a bit more natural. There we go. It's perfect now. There we go. That looks better. I like that one better. Alright, now we just need to kind of math out our distance here. I want to pull out my measuring tool here. Boom, boom. Just to see roughly how long this pathway is going to be, so that way we know approximately how long it'll take them to get there. So if we do it that distance, use the map scale. Oh, for crying out loud. Alright, okay. Let's try that again. Boy, that was a lot of clicks to who goofed it up right there. Hold on. I guess I can just kind of simplify a little bit. I don't need to follow the exact contours. This is all just rough. 250 miles. That is quite the distance. That's quite the distance. And like I say, talking about it's going to be a while for the players. As I've said before, I like to try and at least measure things out. A lot of players, a lot of campaigns will choose to sort of fast forward through this more mundane stuff, right? This more mundane, just traveling day by day. You know, like we've made our random travel, right? So we've got our random travel tables to add some interest and potential interesting things there. But even so, a lot of players will find that to be more tedious than anything. So there's a good chance that players will choose to skip over this. And frankly, I would not hold that against them as the DM. I would not be upset about that if they wanted to do that. That's totally fine. But that said, oops, this is the one we need. That said, if there are players who are anything like me, I really like to go through that tedium. I like that slow plotting pace because it just makes the journey feel that much more epic, right? Like, it just makes it feel much more, you know, Frodo and the gang going to Mordor and all that kind of stuff if you have this distance that needs to be traveled, right? And so it's like it really adds to that feeling because it will add to that feeling of like, wow, we've been on the road for a long time, because once they get to the end of this sequence, you know, they'll have gone through all of this travel, dealing with the Duragar and everything in here, and then all of the travel back, presumably, unless they can find another way to get back quickly, which is part of the reason why I want to put a wizard right here. A wizard that has some teleportation abilities, and if they're, you know, in good favor with him, he might be willing to send them back, you know, in exchange for something. Oops, okay, well, I goofed that up. I didn't mean to do that, but that's okay. I remember how long. I remember it was 250 miles. So, yeah, so this is going to be a very long journey, or long leg of the journey here. But I am 100% okay with that. I actually enjoy that personally. So let's see. I'm going to see. What's that size font? We're using size 18 font for all of these. Okay. So font size 18. There we go. And then this is going to be, let's see, so we gotta do 250 miles. I wish how did I set this up? Font color. I wanna use that same font color. Alright, oh, we just like, alright, we'll copy that. Copy that there, so now we can come up here. Paste it there. Boom. So we got that. And then what else is there about this one? Outline width for an outline color. Well, again, copy that so we can come down here and then paste it. There we go. Now it's uniform. Easy to do. Easy enough to do. So 100. Oh no. Stop being weird. Alright, give me that. Oi. Okay, there we go. So we got 250 miles, and then we have to do our amount of days, and I always math it to be roughly 30 miles of travel is about what you can cover in a day. You can speed that up if they have horses, or you slow it down if it's challenging terrain. In the plains like this, I will very likely speed it up, but we still just kind of keep that basic thing there, and you just ask them, are you guys like really expediting this trip? If so, you can do this, and maybe I'll throw in a couple extra consequences or whatever. But 250, because I don't feel like trying to do it in my head, divided by 250 divided by 30, not 3, 30. So that'll be, it says 8.3 days, so we'll give it, because they're going through the plains, it's pretty amicable land, we're going to just go ahead and say 8 days of travel. 8 days travel. Do that. Get a little bit of curvature going here just to make it look a bit more natural. Just tuck it like right there. That'll look good. That looks just fine right there. So that's a good one right there. And now let's go back to our measuring tool. Now we want to measure this last little stretch here and do the same thing in case they choose to take this route. Boom, and we'll do it still to the end there because that's really what we're trying to do. So 199 miles, we're just going to call it 200 miles. So we'll go to label, boom, oops, boom, label, 200 miles, and then again we'll just do, should be about 7 days of travel if I'm doing my math right. Yeah, six and a third. So for this one, we'll say 7 days travel. There we go. And then let's just tuck that right there. Okay. Now let's go to overlay here. Got that, and let's just clear that out. Okay, perfect. So those are going to be their possible routes there. Look at that. Now all of a sudden our world's starting to look a bit more full and lively, isn't it? Right? Start adding these things in, and suddenly we got a much more interesting looking map going on here, which is always fun. It's fun when you have sort of a complex, interesting map to look at. Okay. So now we do actually need to add a label here. And we're going to give this a really dramatic name here. We're going to call these the Lost Tunnels. Do that there. Boom, the Lost Tunnels. Because that's where their next thing is, though. Although we got to change the font and everything to kind of match what we've been doing for everything else. So now in this situation, so we're gonna, whoa, whoops. Oh, I hate when I do that. Okay. So font color. Whoops, come here. Copy that. Boom, do that. Come down here. A little tedious, but that's okay. Font color. Paste it. Enter. Get rid of that. Da da da. Actually, you know what I could probably do? Yeah, just because all I'm doing here is selecting that outline color, copy that, I'm in here, outline color, paste it, enter, there we go. And then the last thing to check here is, why are we, no, gosh dang it, undo, crying out loud, there we go. Oy, so complicated. So complicated trying to handle all of these different command keys and everything. Like I'm learning it, and I'm definitely getting better than I was when I first started using this. But whew, man, oh man, it does make me look clumsy, doesn't it? All right. Anyways. Oh, it undid. Okay, we'll have to rename that, but that's fine. Font size up here is 22. So we'll come down here, we'll make this font size. Wait, yeah, 22. Do I need is it really gonna make me redo all this? Okay, well, there we go. Do that. Come over here, font color, copy. Come over here. Font color. Paste. There we go. No. No, that's not what I wanted. That is not what I wanted. There we go. Okay. The Lost Tunnels. There we go. Okay, let's zoom back in here. Why is it not saving our colors and everything? Alright. Okay, now I'm getting confused. I don't know why it's being weird here. Let's try again. Let's try again. Maybe it's because I didn't hit enter or something silly like that. Copy that. And just make sure, yeah, that was the one that we... So that part, it did save. Now let's come over here. And we'll come up here. Go into here. Font color. Paste it. Enter. And get out of there. Okay, there we go. There we go. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I just get confused. I get confused and flustered sometimes. Don't we all? Okay. So there we go. Go there. Okay. You know what I want to do because of... There we go. That's going to look better because we have that pathway going through there. I wanted to just adjust that so it looked a bit prettier. And it looks a bit more symmetrical or just pleasing to the eye. There's more visual feng shui going on with that, I guess. I guess is the way to say it. I don't know. I'm making it up. Alright. Okay. Okay, so we'll do that. Now, there's one thing that I wanted to think about here. So we're calling that Mountain Shrine. That's good. Nico's Tribe. I just wanted to make sure because I have kind of uninspired, right? For this one, we have just like the first key. So, let's see here. We can, oh wait, hold on, I need to rename this to Novo Troy Kladny. Right, our city name there. Oh, and then the next steps. Conclusions and next steps here. Tab that, ununderline. Players will first need to travel through the plains to get to the mountain entrances. Can go directly there to save some time. Can follow the trade route so far to have safer travels. Do that for them. Once they reach the entrance into the mountain tunnels, they will be at the next dungeon. Boom. There we go. Okay. So now, that's it. So we'll write up all this stuff for the next step. We'll put it all in here after the fact, because it's a bit easier to discuss some of the events once we have the details of the dungeon taken care of. So, what do you say we start a dungeon, right? Let's start another dungeon. Let's do this. I'm stoked about it. This is going to be fun. Oh, it's fun. It's fun starting a new dungeon. It's really, really fun. So, obviously, we need to take our template. Copy that over here. Paste our template in here. And I already know what I want to call this. We're gonna stick with the Zelda style dungeon rating, which is just probably my favorite. Well, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't say that because I change it a whole lot. I really like doing it this way. Yeah, I don't know. Probably not my favorite, but I do really like doing it this way. So, yeah, there we go. Okay, so the Lost Tunnels. I want to call that, and this is a level 4 dungeon. This is what we're going to be doing here. So, first thing that I want to do, I already have kind of an idea in mind of how I want to go about organizing and setting this tunnel system up. I want to do it so that there are a couple different pathways that will, like, I want it to be kind of maze-like. So I guess let's just go ahead and set this up here. We got our standard thing going here. Here's our standard map size. So what I want to do is I want there to be 4 different segments that aren't necessarily all linear, right? Almost like I want to, they enter in one, right? But I want this one to actually kind of branch off into, I want it to have 3 different possible exits. And so then they have to try and figure out their way through any of, through here based on the different exits they find. And what's going to be tricky is trying to figure out exactly how to sort of usher them through an increasingly more difficult set of rooms here. And what I almost want to do is set it up so that in this, like, first one that they enter through, it's like a hub, right? There are that they can find, like, parts of this one are blocked off that will then grant them access to what will eventually lead them to the next section, right? So it's like, so if we have our 10 rooms kind of going through here, we have like one set that goes boom, 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 boom over there, one set that goes boom, 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 boom up there, and one set that goes boom, 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 boom up there, right? And so we'll have dot and dot closed off, blocked off in some way, shape, or form, so that their only route that they can do is they go through here, right? And so then once they go through here, then they'll go to the next section, go through there, go through there, find something that will then bring them access to that next section, right? So they come back to that first section, come in through here, and then we can almost even do, just to make it feel more open and sandboxy, right? We can do like 2 possible things almost, right? Where it's like, that opens up a door that goes through here that will eventually connect to there, but then that's it, that area is blocked off or locked or something, right? So then they go back there, but then this pathway is also unblocked with whatever they find. Go up there, then they enter the next area, explore, find the final item that will then bring them back through here, give them access up through here, and then they go to that final leg, and that's the end of it, right? So that way they have to kind of go through this kind of complex web of going back and forth and just making it very maze-like, which I feel like is something that would be very dwarven defense to do, right? Because they're already building these tunnels as just part of their livelihood, part of their city, and so there's sort of a natural defense in making it complicated and difficult to travel through. And so that's still in place, even though, as far as everyone's concerned, this place has been very abandoned for a very long time. So that's what I've got in mind for laying it out, right? And then the other thing about it is what I kind of want to do for all of this is have this particular dungeon full of just really nasty, like, Underdark types of creatures, right? Just these really nasty, horrible things. But then have the final boss of this dungeon be like a Duragar, traveling set of guards or whatever, right, that are guarding this area that will then find them. So that way, even when they win the final mission, they're still sort of like captured, right? That's kind of what the idea is. I'll give them a boss battle that they think they can succeed, but because of all of the commotion, an even larger contingency of Duragar shows up and captures them, which will of course piss them off, right? Because it'll feel very like, oh well, there was nothing we could do, and the response to that is, yeah, sometimes you find yourselves outmatched, right? So you give them the battle for the sake of like putting a capstone on things, and they can kind of feel successful and feel like they've gained something, and then really frustrate them by taking it away for the next section. Which again, it'll piss them off, but I don't know. I'm okay with that. So, yeah, I like that. I think it's gonna work out. I think it'll be a good setup. So let's see here. So when I'm doing caves, there's always sort of a question of how do I set this up, and I think because these aren't actually caves, this is a Duragar planned thing. I think I'm going to stick with standard room shapes and everything, and do like square rooms and stuff. And kind of what I want to do is I almost want to lay out like a grid pattern, right, and just have different hallways and doorways connecting different rooms and blocking different things off. So, and like, but have everything be largely equally planned and spaced in some way, shape, or form. So, like, if we're going to our building tool, what I want to do is that cave, smart stone, cave floor. We want cave floor. I wish they had just like a more natural stone wall type of thing. We'll just go with the stone wall, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's just the best one to do. But I wish they had more of just like a cave type of thing. But yeah, it's gonna be cave floor. It's just open dirt on the ground. But like, I'm kind of thinking to do something, just like we're gonna keep it so simple, like 6x6 room, right? 6x6 room, and then did I did that? Yeah, I did. I just sort of, I said it just sort of comes to me how to do it perfectly. I don't know. I don't know though. I don't know if I like them that close together. No, I guess that's fine because we'll just have like doors with like a little bit, right? We'll just do this, connecting them. And then what we can maybe do, if we do 6 by 9 maybe? 6 by 9. If we do that, oops, nope, undo. I guess I could have just expanded and like drawn more. We do that, connect. And then if we do the same thing, oh wait, hold on, no. I want to put 2, 6 by 9 like that, yeah. And there we go. 6 by 9, and then do the same thing. 6 by 9, 6 by 9, and then do the final as like more 6 by 6 rooms. That gives us our 10 rooms. And that gives us some like not always uniform. Oh shoot, these ones were going to be set up this way. Did I get that right? Yeah, I did. Yeah, so it's like if we set it up like this, I'm actually gonna, probably what I'll do is, oh, I know exactly how I want to do this. So let's, I want to edit points. That's what I want to do. That one over, and then just bring this one over 1. So we'll do 7 by 6 for all of these things. Do that, and then this one. Oops, not one more. There we go. That, and then whoops. Undo. Just do that there. I don't know why, but it will bother me. It will. I can't explain it, but I know it will bother me if I put erroneous points in rather than just moving so that each one is just a nice even square of 4 points, or rectangle, or you know what I'm saying. And then these ones will just expand them wider. Right, just do that, and then our doorway will just narrow so that they're in the center. Boom, just like that. And then done editing points. Let's go back to our shape here. Let's connect these like that. And then we can do like connect like that maybe. Connect like that. Connect them. Connect them. Connect them. And then connect them. So it's like we kind of do that, but then we can have some interconnections going on for some of these and everything too. But then it's just like through things being locked or caved in and blocked and stuff like that, is how we can control it. And so I want these ones all connected here, right? And then maybe we'll put like a locked door on this one, right? Or yeah. So if we put a locked door, that'll require them to go like we'll have an exit there. This one will have an exit that goes there. Actually, no, undo. Let's do an exit there, and then this one will have an exit here. Right, so if we do it like that, those are 3 potential exit, and then they enter through there. Right, so they come in through there, and they can explore, and so we keep a pathway for them that goes through there. Right. And then maybe if we connect up tunnels like that, right, so then they can go through there. And then let's edit points. I want to do... I was hoping it would do the opposite of that. Undo, 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 undo. There's not... They really don't have a way to just erase an area, do they? Because I want to erase this area, so that way they have to kind of go through there, right? But then that's blocked off, and maybe that's blocked off, and that one will be opened, right, by whatever they find there, or maybe that one's open from the beginning. So it's like these 2 are the last ones that are blocked off from this area, and then open and open, if we do that. Sorry, I'm just trying to think about it here. Just trying to make sure I've got it clear in my head how it's going to look. Because if I can't keep it clear and straight in my head right now, then that's just going to add a whole lot of extra confusion and struggle for me as I go down. So I want to make sure I know exactly what I'm doing before I really dive into it. Yeah, I guess I like it. I guess I like it how it is. And I wonder if I just do that, maybe? Hold on. Undo. If we just do that, that kind of blocks it off, right? Yeah, because that puts our walls there. I guess the other thing, wait, hold on. The other option, undo. Just undo all that. Let's go to our wall tool, because then the other thing I could just do is stone, right? Block that off, and then if we edit points, no, it's not going to, because it treats the rooms separately then, doesn't it? Alright, well, we can just do that, and like I'll know that's there, but players won't be able to see it, so it doesn't matter in the end. I guess. I don't know. It's not exactly a satisfying way to do it, but yeah, because it won't let me just delete that. Which is, it's kind of weird, right? It's kind of weird that that's how they insist on doing it. Yeah, prefabs, we don't care about that. Alright, well. Because the thing is that was like one of the first things they did, and I don't want to have to redraw all of this just because I can't delete that. So here we are. Here we are. This is our reality now, and reality is oftentimes disappointing and upsetting, but we make do and we move on. Alright, so yeah, we want a text box on. What size have I been doing for all of these? Is it 22? Just got to number our rooms here, so that way they're... yeah, that's perfectly good. 2, 3. It really doesn't matter what they're all numbered. We just have to do it. So that way when we're actually writing our notes, we have reference points for everything. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. There we go. There we go. Okay, so we do that. So we'll do section 2. Let me move this one so we can see section 2 everywhere. All right. We'll go up here. One right there. So that's going to be to section 4. Just like that, and then where's our, there it is, edit, section 3. Do that. All right, perfect. Oh yeah. So we can just turn those off. That's actually a kind of handy thing. I never really noticed that before, but we can just turn them off when we're making our image files that eventually go to players. That way they can't even see what room is numbered what, and just add more confusion to them if we wanted to. Always fun brainstorming more ways to confuse and upset our players. That's how you know I'm a good DM, because I treat it as a me versus them thing. That's sarcasm. Don't ever approach it that way. I mean, I guess some people like it to do it that way, but I don't know. I always find that just leads to a lot of confrontation. It's a lot better if you view even being the DM as part of the collaborative process of being part of the team, because you're the one trying to frame your players as the heroes of the game. So, anyway, I don't know. I guess I don't really feel like getting into that tangent, but you know. So let's see here. The only thing I'm wondering is if I want to add more connecting tunnels and just like cleverly lock things, or what. I don't know. I think that's good. I think that's good as it is. Yeah, I think that's good. It's a little linear and railroady in this part, but I think that's totally fine. So we'll need to make some notes about things, but let's just finish setting this up here. So I want to see, the thing is if we're gonna put doors here, because yeah, we can't we can't put a door on a not wall here, so let's go ahead and what am I struggling with? I need to come up here. That's what I need to do. You ever have that? I don't know, am I the only person who like sits there and just kind of freeze up because I know I'm trying to do something, but my brain is just not registering what it is I need to be doing? I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that does that, but like my brain does that to me, and so I just have to sit here and I have to do that goofy thing where I talk to myself and I'm like, okay, wait, what am I trying to accomplish here? Why am I frozen? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do it like this actually. Boom, boom. Do that right there. There. Yeah, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of do want to add more and just make note of which rooms are completely locked up and can't be reached. I almost want to have like all rooms that are adjacent to each other connect to each other and just have it be this weird, crazy labyrinth of different locked doors, right? Like I say, just like have that be a very intentional thing that the dwarves back in the day did. For the sake of confusing and upsetting their various travelers and intruders that might have shown up, right? And so just connecting it all like this, and then let's go to our walls. I actually really like that. Now that I'm like sitting here and looking at it and thinking about it, I actually really like this. I really like this, and we'll just like have there's three keys. Right, there's key 1, key 2, and key 3, and each door, every single one of these doors corresponds to one of those. And it's like maybe we can have, like we can just have like a big long list here. I mean, it'll be easy enough to keep it figured out because all you do is you just associate a key with the room rather than the hallway. So it's just like you say, okay, so key 1 is the first one, and we can almost even give it to them there. So it's like there's a way there. But you either have to know where to find all the keys like any dwarf would have back in the day, or you have to be able to sort of decipher and figure it out and find the key, right? And so it's like we have key 1 just sitting there in room 7, and it's almost like an invitation or a challenge, and it's like, all right, here's the first key. See if you can figure it out. And so then it's like that key 1 will grant you access to room 8, 9, 10, 6, and into section 2, right? I almost even I want to block these off too. Yeah, so it's like key 1 will grant you like access to all of these rooms, so they can kind of go up there. Key 2 will then give you access to rooms 1, 2, and 5, and then key 3 will grant you access to rooms 3 and 4, right? So it's like they have to go around and kind of figure stuff out that way. That'd be really fun. That would be really fun. I think that's how I'm going to do it. So it'll take a little bit of work and a little bit of planning ahead, but I think it's going to be worth it. So hold on, undo. So I want to, and I like to make the doors kind of all match. So I'm going to have the flat side of the doors always facing inward, or always facing into the room. So that's just going to be easiest to just do all of the upward facing entrances here this way, and then we can rotate it facing into the room. And then how do you, I know there's a way to rotate it. Oh, here we go, rotate 180. There we go. So now let's get all of the downward ones. Boom. Oh, that includes this one. Da-da. Da-da-da. Okay, and now do that, that, and there, and there, and then up here, and here, 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 and here, and then undo our rotate, so then it's there, 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 and then these last ones, just like that. Oh, I forgot to rotate it back. Boom, and boom. Okay, this is gonna be so complex. My players are gonna hate this. They're gonna hate it. They're gonna hate like the labyrinth of this, especially when they haven't found like the map to the area yet. I think it's gonna be great. I mean, ultimately, too, the thing is this isn't really actually that complicated. But to players who will not have line of sight and will not have access to the entire map at the beginning, this will be frustrating and confusing, which is perfect. And that's really good, because that's kind of what we're trying to go for, right? If we're trying to make this so that like this is how the dwarves would guard their city access and stuff. If this is how they would do that back in the day, then it would be confusing and upsetting. That's what they wanted. That was their goal. That would have been 100% their goal. So let's see, level settings. Let's call this one. We'll call this section 1. And so we need to create a few levels. Section 2. Section 3. And then one more. Section. Oops, no. Section. Still section. Section 4. That's a Freudian slip if there ever was one. Alright, so there we go. So we got all of our sections there. Just because conceptually it makes more sense to me this way, I'm going to flip-flop their order. It doesn't matter because they're not like floors. It's not like they're going into basement or anything like that. So levels isn't exactly fair. But anyway, that doesn't really matter. That does not matter as much, that's for sure. Okay, so yeah, so that's our so there's section 1. So now section 2 goes down there. So let's go ahead and do that one now. So terrain, first off, we want our terrain on. I guess it doesn't really matter the way we're doing it. It's fine this way because we're really doing very little with that. So now let's get our building tool going. So, and I kind of want to just like have them all be uniformly set up exactly like that. So it's just even more of a labyrinth, you know. So actually, well, you know, it's, yeah. I'm wondering if I can actually think it'll be quicker and easier. Oh, let me see something here. Yeah, we can clone. Oh yeah, we can totally clone them. We can totally clone them just to save ourselves some time. So let's do that. Let's delete all of these. delete, okay, delete, okay, delete. Alright, now let's try that again. Clone level section 1, section 2, go, and then we'll just have to edit our labels a little bit here. Create section 3, clone from the original, and then section 4, clone. There we go. Okay, and now again, because it just, I'm bothered by these things for no good reason. I just am. Get it in order that I like. There we go. Okay, that is section 1. So section 2. So the one thing that we do need to. Oh well. I don't want these doors there. I just want these things to end off. I should actually know that should be easy to do though. That should be really easy to do. So let's go here. Well, first off, let's go to our text. Let's delete that one. Delete that one. Delete that one. And so if we edit our points, what we can do here is, I think, let's go to, so this is, wait, hold on. Yeah, building tool, we're in section 2. So section 2, I want the entryway to be there. Let's edit some points. We should be able to just drag down like this. What is this dungeon's purpose? To confuse and upset my players. No, this dungeon is an abandoned, it's an abandoned set of tunnels created by dwarves as sort of like a complex entryway into their city. Meant to confuse and distract uninvited travelers, namely by just making it so that like there are a bunch of keys that you have to find to access, you know, the final location, the final place within, you know, to gain access to the city. And so if you're a dwarf or a friend who knows where to find those keys, you can easily make your way through, find the keys, and just unlock the doors as you need to go through there. If you don't know those things, this suddenly would be a bit of a labyrinth that people would get lost in. And back in the day when the doors were still there, it would basically all it meant to serve was just a way for the dwarves to be like, oh, we got people wandering around. Hold on, let's go collect them up. You know, so the guards could go and collect them up while they're lost and wandering, right? And it's like kind of a way to bottleneck and confuse, so that way you couldn't have armies easily invading and all that kind of stuff. Like it was really just like a defensive maze of sorts. Nowadays, because the dwarves have abandoned this area, it is the area, the city is owned by the Duragar. They largely just leave this area alone because they don't care for it, and instead this area is now just overrun with a bunch of nasty monsters and stuff. And so the players are trying to go through here, to find, eventually they're trying to get to the ancient abandoned dwarven city, and they are unaware of the fact that the Duragar have taken over. They think it's just an abandoned dwarven city. So that's the function going on here. I want to, let's see. No, I guess that's good. I guess we're good. So that's what's going on with this dungeon, and that's why it looks very, like, upsettingly complex and uniform all the way through. It's meant to just get everyone turned around and confused and upset. Okay, so that's section 2, quick and easy, just like that. Oh, I do need to add one more text box though. I want to put one right in here. It says section 1, because that's how they return back to the original section of it. Boom, there we go. There we go. Alright, so now on to section 3. Again, we need to do some editing real quick here. Actually, let me just, there's gotta be, oh wait, no, I struggling? What am I trying to figure out right now? I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to remove a door that's already been placed, and I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. But let me just see something. Yeah, no. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. There's just got to be. Right? Why would they not? Can we do it this way? Yeah, we can do it with that. There we go. Yeah, I want to get rid of these doors, and in fact, I want to go back. Actually, before I forget about it, I'm going to go back to section 2 and make sure I've done that. Yeah, with these doors, because I don't want them when I export this map into my online server for my players to play in one day eventually. I do not want there to be accidental extra doors that lead to nowhere and make the map confusing and broken. I don't want that there. I want this to look clean. It bothers me that the shadows are there. I don't know why. Like, I wish I could get rid of those, but alas. Alas, here we are. Okay. So I do want to delete, hold on, section 3. Okay, so section 3, yes, we're going to delete this. I'm going to delete that. And now we can go to our building tool, make some quick edits here. Oh, wait, hold on. Actually, I want to go to text box, grab that. Well, there it is. Okay, I want to actually delete it. There we go. Delete that one. Delete that one. Delete that one. There we go. Now we can go to our building tool here. We want to edit points. Yep, that's what we want. Bring that one in. If this is section 3, then take that down. Take this down. Oh, you know what? Oh, you know what might be causing the shadows? Hold on. I think I might know what's causing the shadows. Let me go to the wall. What am I trying to do? Edit points. That's what I need to do. Oh well, no. I guess that's not causing the shadows, but well, it was a good thought. It's still a good thing for tidying up. Tidying everything up a little bit, I guess. So there we go. I guess that was kind of better. Not really. I just need to see. Yeah, it goes up it goes up the middle. It goes up the gut. So going down the bottom here, should be able to. Let me see here. Okay. So we got to go down here, and then we can go to our building tool to edit the points. What we can do is take a couple extra, make some extra points here. Boom, and do that. This is a dungeon for the near future in my campaign. No, this is a dungeon for the big, large project we're working on, where we're building an entire campaign from the ground up. This is the next step in that project that we've been working on for a while. No, I do not. I am not streaming the stuff that I'm using in my campaign that I'm running presently, because my players will sometimes watch my stream, and I don't want them. I don't want them to learn all of the secrets about what's coming up for them. So I do not stream that stuff. Let's see here. No, this is part of the Hall of Wisdom campaign that we've been working on for a minute now. Okay, so we got that, and then we want to do a text box here. We just want to go here and do section 1, because that will lead back there. Okay, so that leads back to there. Okay, that handles everything. It still bothers me, these stupid shadows. Like, can I do something with that with like the lighting tool? Environment, maybe? Nope. Apparently not. Okay, well, I'll just cry myself to sleep over it tonight, I guess. It'll be fine. Alright, edit. Let's get rid of this again. So we gotta delete that. Delete that one. And then come over here and delete that one. There we go. There we go. Alrighty. Whoops. My goodness gracious. All right, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. So if this is section 4, we'll keep that one. Actually, that one can stay exactly as it is, pretty much. We need to come over here. Let's grab our doors and get rid of those. There we go. Something can't wrap your head around. Kind of difficult to play on 2 or 3 sessions ahead. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I think the thing for me is I don't think of, like, I'm doing this project here. I guess I'm not really thinking about it as planning a D&D campaign so much as I am just looking at it as a world building project. So it's like I'm building the world in a way that it will eventually be used for a D&D campaign. But I'm not actually sitting here thinking to myself necessarily, along the lines of planning. Let me see something. There we go. Hold on. I think I'm just realized something that's going on and why we have these weird shadows. It's because we're overlapping, and so if we delete some of these extra points here. There it is. I figured it out. We can go in and make it perfect now. Yay. But yeah, I just don't see it. I'm not viewing this as, actually, I changed my mind. I wanted this one there. I'm not viewing this as building a campaign so much as just building a world. And we're just, making sure to populate it with fun things to explore and fight and everything. But I think that's part of what helps my brain keep it all straight and organized. Is it feels like it's a discrete type of writing than necessarily planning a session. Because planning a session is different. Planning a session is knowing what's going on with my players and everything, right? And so planning a session includes thinking about, okay, this player mentioned they wanted to achieve this thing. This character is doing this thing and all that kind of stuff. For this, because there's no campaign associated with this, I'm designing a campaign, but it's more so I'm just like making a world. There's nothing like that to think about. So it's not like I have to try and plan ahead. I don't have to sit here playing 4D chess trying to understand, like, oh, well, this character is going to do this thing and this thing and this thing. And then, 70 sessions down the line, they're going to want to eventually be doing this thing. Like, we're not thinking about it this way. We're more so just thinking, like, okay, we're creating a story that has certain goals that must be achieved, and so we're just making sure we plant the things down for that, and then everything else is just kind of blank slate. So maybe that's a different way to look at it and think about how we're doing this, right? Because there are no players associated with this. Instead, I'm just like, here's a dungeon, here's what the boss is there, and then when I dredge this up in the future and run a campaign through it, I'll review what I've written, and then it'll become campaign prep to be like, okay, that's right, these things are here. Here's how I can usher players towards the things that they need to do. I'll plop this extra little thing in here and maybe change this one NPC's motivations to better fit what the player character's goals and missions are and all that kind of stuff, and then so on and so forth. But yeah, they are different. It's to me, it's a different thought process than session prep, if that makes any sense. Alright, okay, so now that I figured out what was going on, why we have all those goofy shadows there, that one's fine. Hold on, we gotta edit these points up, we gotta fix this. I gotta fix this. Oh, why is it being weird to me? Oh, okay, because we've got the extra wall here now. Edit these points here. Boom. Oh, why are you still being a butthead to me? Why would you do this? Well, I thought I figured it out, but I guess I didn't. Because now we go to wall tool, right? Is that still there? Yep, it's still there. Yep, no, it's just there. It's just there. Just there forever. Guess I'll just have to be sad about it for the rest of my life. Right, more lore for BBG and his minions. Not thinking about my players. Instead, keep the... Yeah, exactly. No, that's 100% it. That's 100% it. We're creating a world that's independent of what the player characters are doing, right? Like that's what we're doing. is just creating a completely separate thing from the characters, right? And that's for me, that's always kind of the goal when I'm writing these things, is I like a world that is alive and independent of what my players are up to. That's what makes it feel like a real world, right? Um, it's a world that would act without them influencing anything. It would go on, and things would happen, right? So it's like you create a world in which it's like, oh, there's this bad guy and they're trying to achieve this thing, and then the game is the players come in and throw monkey wrenches in that, right? So you basically are plotting out all of the different steps that, like, all the different things that would, be for the NPCs, that would be their goals, and then you just make sure those goals would somehow be affected by the player activity, right? So in this campaign, right, like the main story beat is that the players they've got their goal, right, which is ultimately to try and free up and be able to build the trade route that goes south. That's what they're trying to do. They're blocked by the dragon that doesn't want that to happen, right? And that's kind of like where it all stems from. That's the main point there. This campaign is them cutting a deal to help the dragon so that he'll grant them access to the plains to build their trade route. So what the players have to do is they have to find these different keys that will grant them access to the dungeon. So we have a dragon that wants access to the Hall of Wisdom, right? That's there. That is true regardless of what the players are doing. It doesn't matter what players do. The players could never show up. In theory, that is what's happening in this part of the world. That wants to be done. To get access to that, the dragon would need 4 keys. Those 4 keys are hidden somewhere around in this area, right? And one of those keys is owned by the Duergar, one of those keys is owned by the Drow, one of those keys is owned by the Giants, and one of those keys is just lost in a cave right now. That stuff is true regardless of what the players are doing. That stuff stays true. The Duergar are doing their own thing regardless of what the players do. They want to do their own things, right? So you plant all these different resources in there, knowing that the players will then show up and interact with those. And so it doesn't really matter. Like, we're creating a story. It doesn't matter how the players go about it or anything like that. We're basically just creating a story that it's like, hey, this is what there is to do in this area. That to a certain degree there's almost a little bit of railroading, because it requires that your players accept, they answer the call to adventure per se. But it's like, it doesn't matter who the players are. It could, in theory, be no players, because if the dragon figured out where all those keys were hidden, the dragon could go there and do all of that stuff, right? So it's like, this is a world that lives and has possibilities that are not dependent on what the players are up to. It's just that then the players go in there and they're the ones that are acting on all of this stuff. They're the ones that are doing it. So that's the way to think about it, right? It's not that we're trying to plan a thing around specific characters. We're trying to create a world that has things to do in it. And then the players will go in about doing that, and the way the story is told is influenced by what characters they make and everything like that. But it doesn't matter if we could have all, like, I don't know, the most ridiculous thing in the world. We could have all, like, frickin' Minotaur clerics that are running around, right? Like, they could all be that, and it doesn't matter, because the goal of this campaign is still to collect up those keys. So it's just like, it's there, and there's unique challenges in each of these dungeons that it doesn't matter what the player characters are. Those challenges must be overcome. So that's the way to think about it, is we're just creating a world that has challenges in it, and the players, it doesn't matter who they are, all their role is to go in and try and succeed at those challenges. So that's what we're working on here. So so you've got it exactly right. Think about, what are the motivations of the bad guy? What are the motivations of those bad guys? And you build the world around that. You build the world around the static parts of it and what their motivations are, and then the players just come in and muck it all up. is essentially it. So hopefully that makes sense, and it's not too much just me rambling about stuff. I never can tell, honestly. Alright, let's say I want to put this right here. Section 1. We'll lead them back to it. There. Section 1, and then we want to add one more here and do Cagdaral. Was it KH or KAH? Where's my map? Come here, map. Where are you? KHA. Cogdaral. So yeah, see, so this is like where the players are entering, and the distance doesn't exactly make sense, but it's like they're going to be traveling through like this portion of mountains, right? That's the dungeon we're working on, and the next dungeon will be something to do in the city. I'm actually I have an idea for the last thing. Cogdaral is there, and it's just like a living Duragar city. Depending on what players do, they may even end up being on at least amicable terms with the Duragar there. But I kind of want to put that there and have one of the dungeons include, like the next dungeon include one of these lakes, right? And have like part of this lake drift under the mountains or something like that, and it includes stuff in there. It's kind of an idea that I have, but that's a long ways off. We got other work to do here. So the important part here is I spelled Cagdaral correctly. It's always embarrassing when you can't spell the things that you named yourself properly. There we go. All right, so that's how it is. So yeah, we got our sort of grid section laid out there. So now, okay, so let's go to our template here, and let's just do a couple quick. Yeah, we got 15 minutes left, so let's just do some like housekeeping type stuff. So we wanna. Oh shoot, I should have. Alright, so we want to make sure we include that little thing there. Come on, OneNote, you can handle it. You can handle it. I know you can handle it. There we go. Copy all of that. So we can come down here. Paste it there, right? Does that look good? Yep, that looks good. Paste that there. Boom, paste that. So wait, that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's what we need. We need 4 sections, right? Because we're doing 4 sets of 10 rooms for this one. So that's what we need there. So we're going to do section 1, section 2. Oops, wait, hold on. I got myself misplaced here. Dang it. Okay, hold on. Try that again. Section 1. This one is section 2. Section 2. This is not section 1. This is section 3. So we'll do section 3 there. And then section 4. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Okay. Alright. Let me just see here. Okay, perfect. So with those sections there, we don't really have a whole lot of time to get really into any of the nitty-gritty stuff here, but what I'm going to do here, actually no, I'm not even going to put it there. I'm just going to put it in some basic notes here. So different rooms are locked. Let's see here. All of the rooms in each of these, all of the rooms in this section are locked. Each is opened by one of 3 keys. The first key is located in room, what is that, room 6? Section 1, room 7. Room 7 of section 1. In room 7. Let's see here. Let's see here. First key is located in room 7. The second key is in room, or is in section 2, and the third key is in section 3. The keys unlock rooms as rooms as follows, and then we'll add just like a little bullet point here. We can actually do ones. Key 1, rooms 7, hold on, wait, 7, 8. It's 7, 8, 9, 6, and 10, right? Is what I decided on doing. Yeah, 7, 8, 9, 6, and 10. So key 1 does all of that and to section 2. Then key 2 that they get in section 2 will come over here, unlock 1, 2, and 5, and section 3. And then in section 3 they find key 3, and that will unlock the remaining 3 and 4 rooms, as well as section 4. That's how it was going to be. That's how it was going to be. So let's go back here. 7, 8, let's see here. 8, 9, 10, and 6. Also, entrance to section 2. Key 2. Rooms 1, 3, and 5. Also, entrance to section 3. And then the last one, key 3. 3 rooms. Wait, hold on. Rooms 1, 2, and 5 is what it should be. My bad. 1, 2, and 5. And then this one is rooms 3 and 4. Also, entrance to section 4. Okay, so they gotta go. They're gonna have to do a little bit of labyrinthy winding and all of that kind of stuff. And that'll work out really well. Actually, I really like that. I think that's perfect. Yeah, I think that's really perfect. Okay, let's see. What do we got? We got 10 minutes left. Oh, I don't know. It's not a whole lot of time to really do a whole lot of stuff. You know what we can do, actually? We can do our experience points breakdown here. So we have our XP breakdown. Let's go ahead and do some of the math on this. I gotta refresh my memory. 5e experience. 5e experience chart. That's what I'm looking for here. Leveling up 5th edition. Perfect. So to go, so this is our level 4 dungeon. So this should have enough experience points to get them from level 4 to level 5. That's what should be available to the players within this dungeon at large. And so to do that, they need, I gotta do some quick math here. 6.5 is level 5, so that will be at 2,700. So you subtract. So this should have 3,800 experience points times 5, because we always plan for 5. I plan my dungeons for 5 player characters. So total XP. So total XP. There we go. XP equals 19,000 XP. 5 players from level 4 to level 5. So that's how much experience points total we need in here. So now for each floor, so because there's 4 floors, we do 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, right? So that way we can divide up the parts as needed. So that's should be 11, right? 4 plus 3 is 7 plus 2. Oh wait, no, it's 10. Yeah, 4 plus 3 is 7 plus 2 is 9 plus 1 is 10. So we need to. So that means I'm gonna break it down into tenths, right? So floor number. Let's just say there's gonna be 4 floors. So let's copy this and just get this in place here. Boom, boom, boom. So 4 floors. Floor 1. That one will have 1900 experience points equals, let's see, equals, there's 1900 experience points. Yep, just like that. 100 XP. So floor 2 will have double that. 2 equals, no, it doesn't, this thing is, it thinks it's so smart, it thinks it's so clever, trying to do the math for me up front. So that's going to be 3,800 experience points total on floor 2. Floor 3 will be the 19, that 1900 times 3. Back that up. So times 3 for that be 5,700. So 5,700 XP, and then floor number 4 will in total have 4 equals not 4, but instead, so that's 1900 times 4, which is 7,600. So 7,600 XP. So that is how much experience points are in each floor. So then, so now we got to figure out how much experience points each battle is going to be worth here. And so it's the same basic process, but the numbers are a little different. Oops, wait, what happened there? Undo. Okay, yeah, because I goofed up there. There we go. That's what we need. We don't need to worry about boss battles because the boss battle just exists in floor 4. Okay, so the breakdown is always easy battles are worth 1, medium battles are worth 2, hard battles are worth 3, and then boss battles are worth 4, right? And so if we're going to do a floor that'll have 3 easies, 2 mediums, and 2 hards, that'll be 3 plus 4, because 2 mediums at 2 a pop is 4, right? So that's 7, and then hards are worth 3, so 7 plus 6. Wait, did I do that right? Yeah, 3 plus 4 is 7, so that's 11. Wait, no, that's not right. That's not right. 3 plus 4 is 7, and then the hard, so it should be 13. It should be 13, excuse me, I'm sorry. So 13, so we're going to divide that 1900 by 13, which is, it says 146, so we'll just kind of do some rounding as we go. So the easy ones being worth 1 portion of that 1900, and, you know, like 1/13th, you know, is what it is 1/13th. So that's going to be worth a 146. We'll just round that up to 150 XP. Easy to do there. Medium being worth 2. Oh, undo. Mediums being worth 2 of that are going to then be, just to make sure we're not getting too off kilter with our rounding, right? So we'll just do the 146 originally. Brings it up to 292. In that situation, we'll just round it up to 300 XP again. And then the hards are worth 3/13ths a pop, right? So that 146 times 3 brings us up to 438. We'll just round that up to 450. 450 XP. So that's how. So that's floor 1. Floor 2 is going to be pretty easy. We could just like we could cheat and just double that because, right, it has double the experience points. Everything's going to be worth double. But because of rounding and everything like that, I want to do it fresh. So again, we're going to divide it into 13ths. 3800 divided by 13 gives us 292, right? So then easy, that will round up to 300 for the easies. And then being worth 2/13ths, right? So we can multiply that by 2 there. So that's 584. We'll round that one up to 600 experience points. You want to be careful with the rounding because on the one hand, rounding up will give your players more experience points, so it gives them a bit more leeway to make sure they get that level up that we're looking for. But the other thing is we use this experience points, right? That's also how we're judging the difficulty of the battles. So if we round up too much at any given time, we're adding difficulty to the combats, which isn't a huge deal because it's all focused around like what type of experience they're trying to get and everything, and the balance works out pretty well in the end. But still, right? You know, we don't want to get too overboard with all of it, so that's why I'm taking the time to remath it out, even though we could kind of cheat, just because I don't want rounding errors to accidentally get our players in trouble. So, because then this one that's like 876, if we wanted to, we could do 875 because they do have 25 experience point enemies. That said, once we're getting up to the challenge ratings and stuff we're going to be dealing with, probably not going to be quite as common to have just the 25 experience points one. So we'll still round up to the nearest 50. And so in this case, we'll round up to 900 experience points for our hard battles. All right, so now we go do the same process for floor 3. So we got our 5,700 divided by 13 there. So that gives us 438. So we'll round that up to 450 for our easy battles. And then for our medium battles, times that by 2, which gives us our 876. Yeah, seeing again, here's where the thing's kind of rounding is going to start getting kind of wonky on us here. 876, we'll round that up to our 900 experience points. And then our hard battles, though, that brings us up to 1315. So jumping up from 1315 to 1350 is kind of big. So instead, I'm just going to set that at 1300 experience points for the hard battles there, and call it good there. See, like I say, that's where our rounding errors start getting kind of wonky. So now with this last one, because there is a boss battle, we are going to now divide it into 14ths, so that way the boss battle can have 4 parts to the 3 parts that the hard has, right? So we're going to take our 7,600, divide that by 14. So our easy battles here, it's set to 542, so we'll round that up to 550 experience points. Our medium battles, again, we multiply that by 2. It's real easy there. So that one says at 1085, so we're just going to do that to 1100 experience points. Hard battles, again, we do our math. Original, to avoid rounding errors too much. So 1628, that kind of puts us right at the smack middle, but we'll go ahead and do 1650. And that means our boss battle now is going to be worth quite a chunk of experience points. Oh shoot, math goofed here, hold on. Alright, and then times 4, there we go. So that means our boss battle is worth 2171. 71 is closer to the 50 than it is the 100, so just to make sure we don't, you know, it's a 50 experience points monster is probably not going to make a huge difference, but if we're tossing in a boss with some lackeys, that action economy that is going to be tipping against players, and so even just adding one more 50 experience points monster in there could make a significant difference. So I'm going to round that one down to 2150 XP is what that boss battle is going to be worth, and that is a hefty chunk. So okay, so we got that broken down, and that's a tedious bit of work there to get down. And I know my system is kind of convoluted and goofy, especially compared to a lot of people I know will just use, you know, landmark checkpoint based leveling, but I really like using the experience points. I like getting kind of into that nitty gritty side of things, because I also like using those experience points. I find that those do a really good job of matching us up with like the difficulty that we're looking for in combats based on level. I really like doing this system and the most important part about it is my players seem to like it too. They seem to appreciate it. They like the level of challenge that doing things this way provides for them. You know, it starts off easy and then it gets harder and harder. And when you're on the last floor, based on your level like this, you know, that 2150 experience points, when they're all at level 4, is going to be an intense battle, but it is far from, it is definitely not insurmountable as long as they are intelligent in their fight. It's the level of difficulty where if they're smart and they plan and they use their abilities and items and everything wisely, it's a pretty simple, manageable fight. But if they're goofing around and not really paying attention, they could definitely get wrecked pretty quick. So my players seem to like this breakdown, so that's why I do it that way. But I'm not going to get into a huge tangent about it because it is a little after 1:30 already, which means it's time for me to go ahead and take my break so we can come back and do some video gaming. So that's what's about to happen. I'm going to take like a 15-20 minute break or so, and then we'll come back. I have been playing Neverwinter Nights, so you know, if you want to see me doing some kind of D&D-ish type of stuff, you can come back and watch me play that. I'll be back, yeah, like I say, 15-20 minutes. So that's coming up. That's coming up for the rest of today. As far as the rest of this week, today is only Thursday. Normally, I would be streaming tomorrow on a Friday. However, I will be out of town. I have to help some family. I have to house sit for them tomorrow, so I will not be at my computer. My computer will be safe at home while I am abroad, so to speak. It's not really abroad. It's like an hour away, but still. So there. Oh, Kitty came to say goodbye to you guys. There's her tail. There she is. But yeah, so I will not be streaming tomorrow, Friday, but I will be back next week. As far as I can tell, there's nothing getting in the way for me streaming my normal schedule next week. So we can look forward to that. Same time as always, 11:30 Eastern time is when we do our D&D writing streams. Yeah, so look forward to that coming up. As always, I do have my Discord and I have my YouTube channel. Feel free to check either of those out if you want to. The links, you can find them in my Twitch channel. Other than that, I think that's all I have. I think that's all I've got. So, if you want to stick around, chat with me a little bit, or watch me play some video games, stick around or come back in like 15-20 minutes, and I'll be kind of getting that underway. If that's not really up your wheelhouse, that is totally fine. I'm 100% okay with that. I'm not offended. If that's the case, then hopefully I will see you next week for the next round of world writing. But yeah, as it stands, that's all I got. So thank you so much for joining me, all of those that did. If you're watching the VOD, I appreciate you as well. Yeah, either way, I appreciate you guys. It means a lot that you guys come here and check out what I'm up to. It's flattering to me, and I have a good time doing it. So thank you, and I will be back shortly. Sit tight, my friends.